Boys and girls, I'm not sure why we're confused, but I need this submitted by Friday, okay? Some of you are wasting time during class, and that's the problem. So let me explain this one more time, what I expect you to do. First of all, this survey needs to be completed so I can know what your classes are. This should not take you not even 3 minutes, the most. All you're gonna do, you're gonna go in there and write your name, your ID, name and last name, your ID, and then you're just gonna choose what period is your first. There's a bunch of choices there. You should know your first period, second period, third period, and so on. That's all you have to do there. So some of you already did it, some of you, and it will look like this, or you can drop down the menu and look for your dance teacher, band teacher, whatever you have. That was the first thing I wanted for y'all to do today, and some of you were just, I don't know what you were doing. That one is the first thing. Now this one, I even put the when it starts problem number 5, so you can do number 1. I even put you pictures showing you that I'm doing 5, you're supposed to do 1. I'm doing 4, you're supposed to do 2, 3, and 6. I'm doing 8, you're supposed to do 7. I'm doing 10, you're supposed to do 9, 15, and 19. But I guess we're confused. So what I'm gonna do, this assignment, I'm gonna lock it. I'm gonna lock it, and I'm gonna put right now a new video, and I want all the questions answered. Okay. Now this one was due long time ago. This is the IXL. IXL. So on the IXL, you should have done the one that's called, they have 10 questions. Some of you did it, some of you haven't done it, okay? But anyway, what I'm gonna give you now is I'm gonna give you a new assignment. It's the same thing, so if you've already done your work, I'm gonna make you do it again. But let me show you. It's gonna have 3 hearts. This guy is the same thing as what you guys were doing, but some of you were just wasting time with the problems on the top, so I'm gonna make this assignment now. It is a test grade, and I need it submitted by tomorrow, okay? I'm gonna assign it immediately, so you already, if you're happen to be right now having access to this at home, you may start already. Like I said, some of you already did it. Some of you, I don't know what you were thinking. So what I did is I grouped it now. Okay. So this will be due, that's it, tomorrow. Okay. I need this done. I need the survey done. Forget about this guy, because this guy is this guy. It's the same one. And then this one is something that was due long time ago. My priority tomorrow is this test, which is this one. So I'm gonna make some of you that were responsible and are about to finish this, transfer it here. Okay. You make sure that all the classes will have it on top. See what's going on here. Everything looks good. It's been assigned. The problem with some of you is that you don't watch the videos, you don't see what I'm telling you in the stream. You just start opening stuff without reading. And that needs to kind of like stop. You guys are already in middle school, and it's important for you all to read. So let me go ahead and open the assignment so you can see what I'm talking about now. So this is the one, I'm making the video right now on this one. What I did, so if you were already doing the work, don't worry about it. You don't have to do everything again. You're just going to transfer the answers here. If you haven't done anything, well, you're going to have a long day tomorrow. Okay? So here it is. What I did now, I grouped them. So I'm going to do again those that had trouble. What I expect you to do in your journal, I'm going to do it again. I'm doing 5. You're going to do 1. So hopefully this time we pay more close attention. Here we go. On your journal, number 5, I have a table. I said, first of all, copy your table on your journal so you can know what you're talking about. So we have the width, which we know it's like the X. We have the length, which we know it's like the Y. Then we have the number 1 with a corresponding 64. We have the 2 and its corresponding number is 32. We have the 4 and the corresponding number is 16. Then we have the 8 and its corresponding is 8. Okay? Now, if you try to find a relationship, you might have trouble. So that's why what I told you to do is I said, look at the choices and try the choices. So 128 divided by 2 is the first choice, equal length plus width. This equation, I got it from the first choice, this guy, from that one. All I did is I copied it. Now, if I bottom out this will give me 64. Now the length, from whichever you want, guys, it doesn't matter which one you get. Okay? Any of them will work. I'm going to get the last one. In the other video, I'm not sure what I got. It doesn't matter. That's my point. The length in this is 8. The width in this one is also 8. 8 and 8 gives me 16. And that would not be equivalent. So that's why the first choice is actually not a good choice. I could bubble around and say, okay, I'm done with choice A. That is not the answer. Then you do choice B. 2 times 128 equals length times width. 2 times 128, I can go to the side, 128 times 2, 16, 4, 5, 256. Length was what? 8. Width was also 8 in this table. I got the last one. 8 times 8 is 64. That is not equivalent to 256. So that's why B, this choice is also dumb. So all I'm doing is I'm copying the equation and plugging in whatever set of numbers I want. I chose 8, 8. Why did I choose those? Because those are single digits, and single digits are probably easier to calculate. 128 divided by 2, I'm doing now choice C, is length times width. Well, 128 divided by 2, we already did it over here, so we know it's 64. The length and width, we're choosing 8 and 8, and we already did it here also, length times width, and we know that's 64. So guess what? This is the answer. These are equivalent. Now the last choice, just for for sake of making sure. It has 2 plus 128 equals length times width. Well, 128 plus 2 is 130. 8 times 8, we're using that one. 8 times 8 was 64. And 130 is not equal to 64, so that's why D is not the choice. So all this should be in your journal. That's for number 5. Don't forget to put the date. We've been doing this since 2/7, 2/8, whatever day you do it, that's when you put it. Okay. Well, the way I just did number 1, you need to do, number 5, you need to do number 1. They're the same type of questions. You're going to try choice A and plug in the V is here. V would be there. The H is there, is right there. A number next to a letter means multiply. You're going to test them out and see if it works. If it works, if they're equivalent like this one, they're equal, that's the answer. That's what you could have done on the first 2. Now in your stream, I was very specific too. But right now it doesn't matter now because I'm making it again the video. But I told you here, for 5 and 1, you could have started the video in 23 minutes and it ends in 30 minutes to know how to answer those 2 questions. Doesn't matter now. The next one we have same thing, tables and some equations. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 4 because that one had a lot of fractions. And some of you might have trouble with that. So again, we do the same thing again, guys. You will go ahead and copy. This is number, change it to blue. This is number 4. And we have the table. Again, I like to do my table vertically. We have the table P with K. This would be X and Y if we wanted to refer them like that. And we have 1/16 is equivalent, is corresponding is 9/16, not equivalent. Then I couldn't draw it, so I won't get all confused with so many fractions. 1/8 is 5/8. Then we have 1/4 with 3/4. And finally we have 1/2 with 1/2. So I just copied the table. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start with choice A. P plus 1/8 equals, now choice A doesn't tell you equal, but I know that it has to equal to who? To the corresponding, which is K. So in choice A, it doesn't give you the whole equation, but I know it has to be equal to K because we're going from X to Y, from P to K. Now here I have to be smart. Since I'm working with A's, I'm going to use these 2. So you see the P is the 1/8, so I'm going to go 1/8 plus 1/8 equals, according to K would be 5/8. Now 1 plus 1 would be 2/8, and this was 5/8. That is not equivalent, so I know that choice A is not a good choice. Choice B, we have P plus 1/16, and I'm getting it from here, guys, equals, well, the corresponding was K, so K. Now we're working with 16, so I'm going to choose this one instead. So we have 1/16 as P plus 1/16 equals, K is, according to the table, 9/16. I could already see it's going to be done because 1 plus 1 would be 2/16. And that is not equivalent to 9/16. So choice B is done. It takes time. That's why I gave you 3 days. But some of you are wasting time there in class. C, P plus 1/2 equals k again. That doesn't say that here, but I know that we're working with relationship between p and k. That's why it has to equal to k. Anyway, we're working with halves now. When I see the halves, so p is 1/2. So p is 1/2 plus 1/2 equals k, and k here is number 1. Now 1/2 plus 1/2 would be 2/2. Now you know that 2 out of 2 really means 1 whole, and 1 equals 1, so that's why the answer is C. That's why the answer is C. Let me check the last one just to make sure. We have D. We have P plus 1/4. My bad, plus 1/4 equals Chewy. P plus 1/4 equals K. Now P is 1/4, and 1/4 plus 1/4 does not equal 3/4, because 1/4 and 1/4 will be 2/4, and that will not be equal to 2/4. That's why it's not. So we know that the answer is C. Right there. Okay, now the way I did this one, you're gonna do the same thing. You see the n is gonna be changed to an 80. 80 times 16 equals who? G. Now you could already tell it's gonna be pretty dumb. 80 times 16 is not gonna give you 5. I would choose 80 and 5 to test all of them, guys. That's why I would choose 80 and 5 to test and find which one is it. Now number 2, you have to be careful because we're working with decimals. So I'm just going to do one table so you can see what to do in number 2. Okay? Let me show you number 2. We already have the equation there on the top right there. Right there. 0.05. What's an expression right now? Plus J. I'm going to make it into an equation so I can test it. We're going to equal to M. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use choice A so you can see what I'm talking about. So again, choose whichever. I'm gonna choose these two. Choosing those two. So you notice that 9 is a J, so 9 will be there. And the M is 9.5. Now somebody might say, oh, that's the answer. No, let's go ahead and solve this carefully by putting your decimals and 0, making it money. This gives me 9.05. And this is 9.5, which is 950. They're not equivalent. So you know what? Choice A is dumb. So make sure that when you're adding decimals that you treat them like money, add zeros at the end if you need to, make sure they're lined up, because if not, like if you just go, oh, 9 plus 0.05, you might think, oh, it is 9.5. No, it's not. Okay? So now go and check which of the other 3 tables will be the answer. Again, all you have to do is choose 2 of them. Okay, I don't care which ones. I chose the one with the 9s. Just stick to that plan. Check the one with the 9s. Of course, this one you could see that it's not looking very promising, but you can check whichever you want on that one. Same thing with the next one. You're going to again put the equation. This one you have to be a little bit careful. Let me tell you why. me show you this. Why? Okay, this one I have to be careful. So I'm going to go P minus 2 over 10 equals, go to V. Again, choose whichever you want. Doesn't matter which one you choose. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and choose the last one. Doesn't matter. So 7.8 minus 2/10 equals V, and V is 17.9. Now we have this kind of decimal, this kind of fraction, this one decimal. So guess what I would have to do to this one? Change it to decimal. So I can go bottom out. Now I know it's really 7.8 minus 0.2. Line them up, 7.80 like money, minus 0.20 like 20 cents. 7.60. Now this equals 7.60. How can it be 17 point at the 0.290? They're not equal, so choice A is done. So again, if you have something in fraction, change them to decimal by bottom out. That takes care of number 6. If you have trouble with that one. Okay. Next slide. Next slide is a piece of cake. Next slide is a piece of cake. I'm doing this guy on the top. Again, we have number 8. I see a graph, I don't see a table, so let's make a table. How do I make the table? I use the points. Now the x goes first, so what do I have there? I have a 1. Now the 1, you notice the y is between 5 and 10. So I was sharing last time, and then it reads 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we think that way, and since this guy is smack in the middle of 5 and 10, so the middle of these, so we have 3 numbers on top, 3 numbers on the bottom, so the middle will be right in the middle of 7 and 8. So who's in the middle of 7 and 8? Well, 7.50, 750, 7.5. So that's how you get that one. Now, worst case scenario, if this would ever happen in the star, you don't know what really it is. Like this one was pretty easy because it was smack in the middle, and in the middle of 5 through 10 is 750. As I listed the number, we can know that it's going to be here in the middle. But if you don't know, just get the ones that are completely holes, like these. The ones that are holes, you can tell quickly. Like this one is coming up. X would be 2. Y would be 15. There's nothing to think about it. You know quickly that it's 2/15. The next one is 3. And again, smack in the middle. So in smack in the middle of 20 and 25 would be 2250. So 3, 2250. Then we have 4. X is 4. Y is 30. So again, you first go on the X, guys. 5, again, smack in the middle of 35 and 40 will be 3750. So 5, 3750. Then 6 with a whole perfect 45. So once you have your table, we're going to see what they want us to figure out. But in this case, they just want to know who's the independent values. So we should know that X is always the independent and Y is the dependent. Y depends on X. So X is independent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be the independent values. Now this one, the reason it's wrong, it does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it also has the dependent values. These are the dependent, it has everything. This one, I don't know what they're thinking, or who knows what they're doing in G Park. This one here is the dependent, this site. So if they had asked me what's the dependent, it would be choice C. But they wanted the independent, that's why the answer is choice B. The way I did number 8, you can take care of number 7. Yours is even easier. Okay, slide 4. Moving along. Same thing that I just went over. Okay, same thing. Please be careful with the decimals. So I'm gonna get my equation. So let me do number 10 for you. We have the equation, well, we have the expression 5n. It's an expression right now. Plus 6. That's gonna make it into an equals. Well, we're working with n. Well, we need to know who the n is, right? Look what it says. N represents the position. So you see the word position, that would be n. Okay. So the other one, I'm just gonna call it V for value. So n is the position, V is the value. Okay. It looks like an R, but it's really an N. So sorry about that. It looks like it's an N. I got it from here and the word there, position. Okay. Okay, here we go. Again, choose whatever you want. I'm gonna choose the last one, 511. So 5, a number next to letter means multiply, times n would be 5. We're using this guy and this guy. So 5 would be 5. And then 6 is already there. The V is the value, which is 11. And now we can solve. 5 times 5 is 25. Bring everything down. 25 plus 6 is 31. And 31 does not match 11. So that's why the first table of choice A is not the answer. This table is bad. Go and choose another table. Again, I would just use the last ones if you want, or the one in the middle. Do never choose the front ones. Okay, I would choose the last ones, because if you notice, look, the front one, 111, is the same one as this one. So if it works for this one, it's gonna work for that one. So you still are stuck with two choices. But if you notice in the last ones, they're all different. They all look different. 511, 525, 515, 531. That's why I would choose the last ones to check which one is the table that belongs with this expression, which we made it into an equation. Okay. Anyway, the way I did number 10, you need to do number 9. Be careful, this one has decimals, and number 9 I already gave you the equation. So the way I did number 10, you're gonna do number 9, number 15, and number 19. Okay. So, and again, if you wanna refer to the old video, because in the old video maybe I did a little bit more, you can. Slide 6. This is the new stuff now. This is even easier. Okay. Now this time they gave me the table and they gave me the graph. So I need to figure out which table goes with the graph. So I need to make order pairs. Order pairs. So I like to at least, so it's real simple to make the order pairs. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 12. 12 is the harder one, but not really. 12. We have x being 1, and then y being 1.5. X being 2, and y being 2.5. And I'm just getting the order so I can find my coordinates right now. 3, 3.5. And then it skips, it doesn't go to 4, it goes to 5, so that's fine. 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. So from my table, I made my order pairs. Now I'm gonna find which one matches. So let's start with the first one. 1, 1, and then 1.5 would be in between the 1 and 2. It did not hit the point. The next one. 1, 1.5 hits the point. You see, this is 1 and this is 1.5. Perfect. The next one is 2, 2.5. Perfect. 3, 3.5. Perfect. Now 4, it skipped it. That's why it's blank. That's fine. That's good. 5, 5.5. There it is. 6, 6.5. There it is. So I found it is right there. Now this guy is good too. However, it puts 4, 4.5, and it misses 6, 6.5. So these two graphs are good, to be honest. But which is the best choice would be this one, because this one really matches our table exactly. There's no point. We don't have data on 4, 4.5. So this is the right graph. Anyway, the way I did this one is the way you do the one over here. Of course, here, instead of a table, it's an input-output machine, which this is your X and this is your Y. There's your order pair 4, 2, and so on, and then go find it. Okay? Not a biggie. And the last slide. But the last slide, this thing is even easier. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do, I guess I'll do 13. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so here we have 13. They give us a table now, so when they give you a table, it's much easier to work with things. So I first want to see there's a relationship between X and Y, and there is. I see that it's increasing, and it's increasing by, if I don't know by how much, I can go out to the side and subtract. I can go to the side and subtract, so I can find how much the difference is, and in this case it's 17. So I think that the equation is going to be y equals x plus 17. I can test it. Y is 22, x is 5, and what's 5 plus 17? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yep, it is 22. So that is my equation. I could test another one just to make sure. Y equals x plus 17. Let's check the last one. So we have 37 as y. 37 as y. 20 would be x, and 20 plus 17. Let's see if it gives me 37. And voila, it does give me 37. So now I know that for sure this is my equation. Now let's go check. Obviously, we did not multiply, so it's not multiplicative, it's additive. But now we need to check how did it increase. So let's pretend that you can't even find the equation. You can just use the choices. Did it increase by 5? But let's go check. 5 plus 5 is 10. It did not increase by 5. Did it increase by 17? Yes, it did. 5 plus 17 will give me 22. 10 plus 17 will give me 27. So the answer would be B. Okay, of course, don't forget to click on that bubble and in. So the answer would be B. The way I did number 13, you're gonna do number 11. Hopefully this helps you better and there won't be all confusion of what I expect you to do, guys. This needs to be submitted. If you don't finish during the class, you stay after school with Miss Emma Lopez Garcia. She'll be there for an hour. You stay after school with her and you finish the test with her, because I want this test submitted by tomorrow. So one more time, tomorrow, Friday, you will go to your classwork and you'll be working on this. Now, if you already started working a lot on it from this one, it's the same one. Just transfer the answers to this, because this is what I'm going to grade. I'm going to grade this guy. This guy I'm not going to grade anymore, because some of you were confused of what I wanted. So what are the 3 things I want? I want my test, all of it completed. You don't finish, you stay after school with Miss Emma Lopez Garcia. I want my survey done. I need to know what periods you have. First, second, third, fourth, because we didn't make a change in schedules. This one, don't worry about it anymore. But if you have some of the answers already for the test, we'll just transfer them over. I'm not gonna make you do it. But the one that's gonna be submitted is the test. This guy, okay? This guy is not gonna be submitted anymore. I'm gonna submit the test, which is the same thing. Now this is for my Excel. You need to finish the Excel also by the weekend. The worst of the weekend. I don't know. I'm gonna grade the test and this one this weekend. And hopefully you've caught up with other stuff that you owe me. But we're already in week 5. Next week is week 6. God willing, I'm feeling better. I'll see you on Monday. Do not forget, I need this test completed.